Hello, Hollywood Time listeners. Judy Shields here. Today we welcome Nashville singer-songwriter Noah Smith. Hey, Noah, how you doing today?
Absolutely amazing. Beautiful day today. It's good to be here.
Awesome. It's not too bad out here in Hollywood, so that's pretty good.
I guess at the end of the day, it's still Hollywood, right? So that's always cool.
So let's see. Let's talk about your new single, "Way Back." Let me tell you, that song kind of takes me way back as well. It's an amazing song. Let's talk about how that came your way. You write it, co-writers. How did that all happen?
Yeah, man. Yeah, way back. It is. It's funny. Sometimes you put music out and you don't, fall in love with it all the time after you play it. But this one's one that I can't help but like even find myself singing when I'm in the car, because it's just it's a total vibe and it's got a little bit of throwback and I love the kind of dancing in the kitchen vibe. So this song's about I kind of went through a time in my life where I just wrote about being a punk rock kid from the Midwest and growing up out in the bean fields in the middle of nowhere, like whatever that life looked like. And this was kind of my first. Hey, I'm gonna write a love song. Write something maybe a little bit more happy proud than that. So way back came from honestly just that kind of thing. My fans started telling me like you should write some more, up tempo kind of more lighthearted stuff or write a love song, they kept saying. And so I started putting the ideas down and then kind of had an idea of, there's some girls that kind of walk around with us boys in their back pocket. And that's where the song started out from. And then it turned into a song about kind of like the real love stories. And so I wrote this with my dear friend sings harmonies in my band and guitar as well. Just my best pal and Matthew Douglas Simpson. He's an artist in his own right as well, and Brock Butler, and then usually three people is about all I ever want to write with. But that day we ended up at Lexi Dunn's apartment writing a song, and next thing you know, she had an idea and somebody brought some tequila along the way. So there actually was five of us on a song, a very simple love song, and but I think you can kind of feel that energy and that vibe in it. That it's just it's really about the real love. So there's another guy named Jason Kane that ended up in the room with us. So those are all my co-writers. We wrote it in Nashville, and just super excited to have this one out, and especially to be playing it live at the shows. It's a great in the room. Everybody's singing along, and just I'm stoked. Everybody's falling in love with it as well. So I'm happy.
Yeah, that is pretty awesome. I like the fact that you had five people in there. That's gives you a whole lot of ideas. I like the one line that we were like Johnny and June because that's truly one of the biggest, greatest love stories for country.
Yeah, that's right. Well, my oldest son is named after Johnny Cash, so we kind of got
Oh,
that in our roots a little bit here. So it kind of snuck its way in there. And I think like there's definitely that side of the song about like there's the Hallmark movies and those versions about love stories, but then there's the rest of our stories, which is more like my story and me and my wife's story, and it's like those are the real stories, and so we kind of snuck some of that stuff in there, and just kind of the tried and true. It's not always good. It's always not sunshines and butterflies, but the valleys are part of it too, and then you learn how to love each other through that. That's definitely what the song. What I hope people gain from it is just know that like where you're at is exactly where you should be, and hopefully that means you're together.
oh yeah, it's definitely a great love song, and way to go, way to go. I wanted to ask you, so when did you first discover your voice, or you knew that you can sing? You've got a great voice, by the way.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And yeah, way back actually kind of pushed me into a new place to that. But the long story starts with me being an eighth grade kid in English class, and my teacher would let us bring in music, and then we would do like a free write, and that's kind of when I fell in love with words and lyrics. My mom was always listening to either Paul Simon or Alan Jackson growing up, and that kind
Wow.
of just made me fall in love with songwriting. And then the short story is I love to be on stage. I love to perform. I love to be. I grew up a garage band kid, so it was like me and my buddies in a band making music is if we can do that and barely get by, it's heaven on earth. And so my songwriting kind of brought me into realizing some of the best that ever do it and ever have done it are in Nashville, Tennessee, and started heading down there and just connecting the dots and meeting people. And I always say if you're the best songwriter in the room, you're in the wrong room, and that usually means you need to take a trip to Nashville because there's just so many great writers. And so that kind of brought us up and put music out ever since, and have several records as an independent artist, and got new music coming up next year, which we're really excited about. So Way Back, I feel like, was kind of like a new step forward for me into not necessarily a new sound, just like my songwriting's kind of came full circle, and I feel like I'm fully kind of being who I need to be right now, and I'm really excited for what's coming up.
Yeah, I've read here with opening acts for, like Ashley McBryde, Chris Janson, Aaron Lewis, Steve Miller Band, and I see a name, Joe Diffie. What was it like being with him? God rest his soul. Miss him already so much.
Oh yeah, we played with him and him and his band at 8 Second Saloon up in Indianapolis, Indiana, and actually I think he only had less than a dozen shows after that before 2020 came to play, and he passed away. That show was amazing, and one of the coolest things that happened that night was I can't remember his name, but their steel player actually was going to be his last show with the band, and he had played with those guys for a long time. So they did a little moment during the show where it was talked about him, and he stood up and kind of everybody gave him a standing ovation. And I just remember thinking, like, man, as long as Diffie's been in the game, there are people around him that have been in the game as well. And I don't know, I don't think I'll ever forget that. Like, it was just, somebody's a good, a good artist and is surrounded by good people, and there's people that have been playing with him for 15, 20 years consistently, so but yeah, what a legend, right? Like, I mean, the song, yeah. So.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because I just recently got his album. They came out with an album tribute kind of thing that was green, and I had to have it because it was just, all those great songs and memories from him. So thanks for sharing.
Yeah, they just did I think they just played that during the CMAs, I think, or maybe I'm wrong.
No, yeah, they did. They did. I think it was Morgan Wallen and Hardy and Post Malone. Oh, that was the most amazing tribute to him. They all did such an amazing job.
Yeah.
I had to watch it several times. It was so good. He's smiling down, that for sure. Now, I also read here that you've traveled, of course, here in the United States, but Europe. What was it like your first time when you went to Europe to play?
Yeah, Nashville Nights, shouts out Nashville Nights International Songwriter Festival in Denmark, Odense, Denmark. We would say Odense, but it's Odense. You gotta learn how to say it once you're over there. But man, I'll tell you what, I think I say I have the best fans on the planet, and I've always said that about the United States. And then once I got out of the United States a couple times, the people of Denmark consume music on a different wavelength, and they are so gracious and grateful that we are there. It is an absolute treat, and I cannot wait to keep going back. I'm really looking forward to getting back, because the people are just so beautiful and just great spirits, and they appreciate their appreciation for music is just it's like anything. It's unlike anything I've ever seen, and I love it here. I'm grateful to be from the country that I was born and raised in, obviously. But as it may, we are also a capitalism at its best, and oversaturation, and we like to put songwriters in every little corner of every little coffee shop and every little pub. And over there, they're very much set up to where it's like you go to a music venue to see music, and so it's like it's really special, and it really made me want to come here and work harder to be in rooms that are that focused on what I'm doing. So, yeah, again, shouts out Nashville Nights in Denmark. I love it over there, and can't wait to come back and see everybody.
So I see here it's an International Songwriter Festival. So that's just something that songwriters from all over the world, or is it just Nashville brings songwriters for this particular one?
Yeah, so mostly, I mean, there's a large number of the rosters are hit songwriters from Nashville.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm very lucky to get asked to go out there and share my music as a growing artist and learning. But some of the Lee Thomas Miller and Tony Lane, and you mentioned Ashley, like some of her writers are out there. Blue Foley, Trick Savage, CJ Field. Last year we were out there with Terry Joe Box. Just there's the list goes on, man. There's
Wow.
just so many great riders. So, but then there's also some guys like me and gals like me that are kind of out on the road doing it and growing as artists. But then they bring in, there's people from all over different parts of Europe as well. A lot of London artists and yeah. So, but it's a lot of Nashville cats, and then other folks over there that got great songs and songwriting. And it's just a mix of all kinds of worlds and sounds, and it's a pretty special thing. I mean, it's definitely country music. I mean, the people eat it up because of country music. They're definitely there for that.
Awesome. I also read here there's something called Noah Smith's Crooner Circus. What's that?
Yeah. So the Crooner Circus is a songwriter round that I was crazy enough to go down to Nashville for a few couple times and realize, like, man, this really is special. And so it's a songwriter round that I've been hosting in Cincinnati. I also did 7 or 8 of them in Nashville along the way. But it's a songwriter round, so 3 or 4 people up on stage at once telling stories, and it's a great way to kind of breaks down all of the artist vibes, and it just makes the room completely about the songs. And you can go to Nashville any day of the week, any stage, any room, and there's usually writers rounds going on. But in Cincinnati, there's really nothing like it. So I'm very lucky to have my name on it, and it's been around for officially 5 years. We've had over 300 songwriters play it, people on tour playing through it. We've had a couple people that have went on to play the Opry, some #1 writers on it. Nashville Nights came to town and did a featured round, and it's honestly, it's one of those things, like, it's working, and I don't really know what else to do with it, but just keep doing it every month and enjoying it. So that's the Crooner Circus. If anybody's ever rolling through Cincinnati, definitely come through and check out the Crooner Circus.
Great. So is that where you call home, mostly in Cincinnati?
Yeah, so I'm here right now. I just say I have a long commute to work, So we're about 4 hours out, and we're in Eastern, and so I drive down Monday mornings, and I'll be in town Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, come back. And for a few years I did it every week, and now it's kind of when I'm doing a round, and I base my rights when I'm co-writing with people, but other than that, we stay on the road on the weekends and playing shows, and so yeah, just kind of back and forth between Nashville. I got a beautiful 5 acres that if I wanted this in Nashville would cost me way more than it does here. We'll just say that.
Well, good for you. I've been to Cincinnati several times. I love it over there, actually. I really do.
Oh, Cincinnati's great. It's a great music town.
Yes, it is.
There's a quote Mark Twain said that when the world ends, he wants to be in Cincinnati because it's always 10 years behind the times. So we're working on that. We're trying to get out of that. I'm trying to put us on the map here.
Yeah, it sounds good. With the way you sing, that shouldn't take long. So Way Back was released in October. So how can our listeners find it?
Yeah, anything that I'm doing is Noah Smith Music. You can find everything that way. That's the domain. But if Wayback's available, Noah Smith Wayback, it's on all streaming platforms. Anywhere you can find good music, it's going to be on there. If you can't find it, hit me up, and I'll get it to you. I can guarantee that.
We appreciate it. So you'll be working on new music. What's coming up for Thanksgiving and Christmas? What do you do with your family?
Yeah, that's actually exactly what we're doing. We had a really busy summer and kind of gearing up for next year. So I got some solo dates. We got a big New Year's Eve thing going on. So we're kind of resting, and I'm just writing, trying to be in the studio as much as possible, and enjoying the fam. I actually, believe it or not, I'm going to try to get out and go golfing with my dad at some point today. So gotta enjoy life a little bit, not just be grinding all the time. But I'm horrible at golf. Don't get me wrong, but I can carve out a couple hours to go hang out with my dad. I feel like so. But yeah, we're really excited for the rest of this year. We're definitely in a good place.
Very good. What do you ask Santa for this year?
#1 song. Let's go with that.
All right, Santa, you have time. Go ahead.
That's great.
It'll happen. Well, keep on writing, and then we'll catch up with you when you've got the new music coming out, and we'll help spread the word out for you too.
Yeah, thank you for all the help and sharing it. It's so important. And as an independent artist, I can't say thank you enough. And just really grateful to chat and get the word out about the music. And thanks for just supporting original music and independent artists like myself. It's definitely a good thing.
Oh yeah, I'm always right there because I totally believe in music and any forms, and the independents are pretty awesome.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's great.
So we want you to have a great day out there in Cincinnati, Ohio, and be safe.
You too.